everyone, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you one n8n workflow where we are going to extract the data from PDF file and then do validations. Okay, based on the validations, we are going to insert the data whether either in database or send a Slack notification. So if all validations pass, then we simply go and insert the data into Postgres database. If any validations fail, we are going to send a Slack notification. This is what we are going to build in today's video. Okay, for that, I have already created a workflow, but I'm going to explain you each node and then how to configure that node. Okay, so as you are already aware of how to select nodes, let me show you one more time. So you can click on create workflow and then click on plus here. So when you click on plus here, you can search for any node. For example, let's say webhook, or extract from file like this. So you can select any node from this search box. Okay. So now let me show you the webhook node configuration. Click on here. So webhook provide you two types of URLs: test URL and then production URL. So if you want to test your workflow within the editor, you can use test URL, but for production purposes, you can copy this production URL. Okay, that's about URLs. And the next thing is the method. For our demo, I have selected post because we are going to upload PDF files. Okay, and then path. Okay, we should specify path which will uniquely identify your webhook. Okay, so PDF data validation is the path I have provided. It's up to you. You can give any name. Okay, after that, authentication. For this demo, I'm keeping none, but there are different options available. If you want to keep authentication, you can select basic authentication, header authentication, or JWT authentication as well. Okay, that's about authentication. And then the next thing we have to configure is respond. That is when and how to respond to the webhook. Okay, that is when you want your webhook to respond back to you. Okay, so here I have selected when last node finishes. That means when last node completes execution, I want my webhook to respond, and then what the response should contain. So all entries. Here as well, I have a different options, but for my demo, I selected all entries. Similarly, for respond as well, you have a different options. But for this demo, I have selected when last node finishes. Okay, if you see here, returns data of the last node, last executed node. Okay, now, sorry, this is about configuration. Okay, now let's go back to the next node. So once we get the PDF file, the next operation what we have to do is we should extract data from that PDF file. Okay, for that we are using extract from file node. Again, inside that we are using extract from PDF operation. If we go and check here, extract from file, you can find different actions. So here we should select extract from PDF since we are using PDF file. So now let's see the configuration. So here we should select extract from PDF operation, and we should provide name to input binary field. This input binary field name is going to contain the file to be extracted. Okay, the data, I can say. After that, let me show you one more time. So the name can be anything. I'm giving here data. It's up to you. You can provide any name here. Okay, after extracting the data, we should perform validations, right? For that, I'm using code node. Again, code node has two actions. Okay, code. Either you can select code in JavaScript or code in Python. For this demo, I'm using code in JavaScript. Okay, now let's see what we are doing inside code node. So the mode is run once for all items. We have a two types of modes: run once for each item or run once for all items. Okay, when you select this run once for all items. This will run this code only once, no matter how many input items there are. Okay. If you select this node, it will run this code as many times as there are how many inputs. So inside this, I have provided JavaScript code where I'm extracting the data into data, and then I have created even errors array to capture any errors, and then validations. If you see here, I'm doing validation of invoice number. Before that, let me show you the sample file which we are using for this demo. Okay, if you see my sample PDF file is this one, which contains invoice number, invoice date, vendor, customer, and then items, as well as total amount, and then GST. So I'm going to validate one is invoice number, invoice date, and then vendor. Okay. So for that, I have created code here. If you see, I'm validating invoice here, saying that my invoice number should start with INV, as well as date validation here. Okay. After that, I'm validating the vendor. That is, the vendor should be either ABS Technologies Private Limited or XYZ Private Limited. If the vendor is not included here, I should throw error. After doing validations, I'm simply returning the response, that is data, which contains invoice number, invoice date, vendor, customer, and then item quantity, price, total amount, GST, as well as errors, if any errors. Okay. So this is about code node. So after doing validations, we should use condition to check if any failures are there not. For that, I'm using if node. So here I have given one expression, that is JSON errors dot length equal to 0 or not. That means I'm simply checking if at all any errors. Okay, we should throw or we should return false. If not, we should return true. For that reason, I'm using condition here, errors dot length equal to 0 or not. If it's 0, we go to true branch. If it's false, that means if the errors length is not equal to 0, then we go to false branch. So in the true branch, what we are doing is, that means if all validations pass, we simply go and insert the record in database, that is Postgres database. So for that, again, you can simply search here Postgres. Once you select here, you can see different actions available. That is, we are going to insert row in a table. Okay. So for that reason, I selected insert row in a table. So now let's see the configuration here. So first thing we have to do is we should provide credential, okay, for n8n to connect to our database. So where you should provide, I have already created a credential here. So if you want to create a new credential, you can click on this and then provide your host, database name, as well as user, password, and then port. Okay. Here, if you see my credential, I have given my host name, that is Postgres. Um, for this demo, I have created my database inside Docker container. Let me show you that as well. Inside Docker container, I am running my Postgres. If you see here, this is my Postgres database running inside Docker container. So, and then let me go back to the workflow. So I have given container name here, and then database name, database username, database password, as well as port. Okay. So once you provide all the details and then click save, n8n will try to connect your database and then show you message if at all success, like this, connection tested successfully. If at all any errors, it will show you errors as well. Okay. So once that is done, the next thing is we should configure operation. Since we are going to insert the data, I have selected here insert operation, and then the schema, that is public schema. In my case, it's a public schema, and then table name is PDF data validation. So here the prerequisite is we should create table before. So if you go and check here, I have created a table, inside tables under public schema. My table is PDF data validation. I have created this before only. So now if you go here, I have provided the table name here. After that, we should map the column. Here, two options available. Either you can map each column manually or map automatically. If you want to map automatically, we should what we have to make sure is the property names as well as column names should match. If you see here, my table has the column names is invoice number, vendor name, total amount. So, but if you see here, properties, invoice underscore number, invoice underscore date, vendor. So that's the reason I'm using here map each column manually. And then once I select this, right, my column names from table will automatically populate here, and then I should select the data which I want to insert. You see here, I can simply like do this drag and drop, so that the respective data will go and insert in our table. Okay, this is about my Postgres database table node. Okay, and then if at all any failures in the validations, we should send a Slack notification. So for that, I'm using here Slack node. Again, inside Slack, I'm using send in a message action. If you go and check here, the configuration, same as a Postgres node, we should provide a credential. Okay, here I'm providing access token to n8n to connect to my Slack workspace. Similarly, you can create your credential. Okay, I'll show you how to create credential as well. So if you go to the documentation of Slack, you can find the steps here. So to generate any access token, you can click on Slack API apps. So and then create. I've already created two, so I'm going to create one more for this demo. Create new app from scratch. Okay, here provide name Slack n8n integration. Okay, after that select the workspace here Codecraft Academy. It's my workspace, and then click on create app. So once that is done, we should go into OAuth and permissions. Okay, here we should add scopes. Okay, come to scope section. Here two types of scopes are available, either bot token scopes or user token scopes. So I'm using user token scopes. Click on add an oath. Okay, add an OAuth scope, and then click on admin. It's up to you, you can add whatever the scope you want, but I'm using admin here. So after selecting that, just come here, just go to any option and then come back to OAuth and permissions to make the option. This is OAuth token option enable. This install to Codecraft Academy. That is install to workspace should be enabled. So now just click on this. It will um, navigate to another screen where you should give permission. Okay, you should give permission. Click on allow, and then it will provide you OAuth token. See here. Now you can simply copy this access token, come to your, let's say if you want to create a new, just click on here and then paste it here. So once you paste your access token, click on save, then n8n will try to connect to your workspace. If all goes fine, it will show you success message. If at all any failures, it will show you failures. Okay, that's about creating access token to connect to your workspace. Okay, after that, let's the next thing is resource. So here I'm using message. Either you can use channel, file, reaction, whatever you want, but since I'm going to send a notification message, I'm using message. And then operation is send. Whether you want to send a message to channel or user, I'm sending to channel, and then channel name here. Okay, so after that, what type of message you are going to send, whether simple text message or blocks or attachments. For this demo, I'm using simple text message, and then I have constructed message here. So either again, it's a same same as previous I said, right? I mean, you can construct your message. So let's say if you want to keep different details here, not vendor, let's say customer, you can simply change this to customer and then drag and drop from here. You have a customer, right? So you can simply drag and drop here. Okay, this will construct your customer data. So I'm going to undo changes. I'm not going to save this. That's about what I can say. Slack node configuration. Okay, now go back to our workflow. So now we are done with all nodes. Now let's see testing this and then whether it's working fine or not. Okay, for that, as I said, right, if you want to test your workflow within the editor, you can use test URL, copy this, and then click on execute workflow. To test this, I'm using Postman. Go back here, come here, and then click add request. Method is post. Copy the test URL. So let's say name is test. So come to body here, form data, and then enter key data, and the type should be file. Okay, and then select the PDF file here. Let's go and select PDF file, sample PDF file. So click on send. Now go back to your workflow. See here, our workflow has successfully completed, but we got one error. It's a duplicate key okay, violations. Let me go and check because I have already done this. So we already have a record here. Let me record, delete this. We got a duplication error. So save changes. Now let's go back to the Postman and then run the workflow again. So okay, we haven't started our workflow. Let me start the workflow again. Start the workflow. Now go back to Postman and then run the command. I mean request. See now here our workflow successfully completed. If you see here, we all nodes passed, and then it went to true branch. That is inserting data into uh, Postgres table. If you go and check here now, let's run this query. See, data has inserted into Postgres table. This is successful. So let's say if at all any failures, we want to even check the Slack notification as well, right? So for that, let me do some changes here. Let me go and then make it failure. Okay, now let's go and then save this. Now run the workflow and then test using Postman. Now if we go and check this, see if you see here, our workflow successfully completed, but we got validation failures. That's the reason we have sent Slack notification. We go and see in invoice validation failed. We go and check the workflow. See now this time it took false branch. Okay, this is it sent a Slack notification. Let me go and check the Slack notification in my workspace. If you go and check here, this is my workspace. All code. This is my channel. All code craft academy. And then if you see here, invoice validation failed because of this. Okay, vendor not in approved list. If you see, my approved list is this one, but vendor is having different value. That's the reason I got a notification saying that invoice validation failed. Okay, that's it about our workflow where we are actually extracting the data from PDF file and then doing validations. Based on the validation result, we are performing different operations. If validation pass, then we are simply inserting the data into database. If validation fail, we are simply sending Slack notification. Okay, thank you for watching. If you like the video, please do like, share and subscribe for more technical videos. Thanks for watching.